Hi there, welcome to the near Wyckoff session. So we're looking into near in terms of its Wyckoff stage as well as the key support resistance levels, also any daily trend that we can observe from the charts. So let's begin. Here we're looking at the weekly chart, and currently near is basically going through a test of the selling climax as well as the automatic rally that happened in mid-May. So back to why I think it's more like near is at this accumulation phase. It's basically referencing what happened back in 2022 all the way to 2024. So these price levels are pretty much around the accumulation period back in that time, and expect like more tests. So after selling climax, there can be some, you can call it second test or just test to make it simple. Last time it went through probably around 3 more tests before it eventually climbs again. So there's no particular number or formula saying every time there must be 1 test or 2 tests or 3 tests. So it all depends on how the market is evolving and how people are like buying into a particular protocol. So anyway, no matter how many tests it has, this is currently in accumulation. So if near continues to develop, if its ecosystem continues to thrive, then we may be able to see another distribution cycle when the time is right. So that's the big picture. And in terms of support and resistance levels, currently the level we're at, it's very close to one of the support levels. Actually, it's kind of acting upon that level already. So if we look at this, let's change it to a green line. So both last week and the current week are all hovering around this line, or trying to stay above this line at around $1.85. So here at the selling climax, the wick touches this line. Over here we see a bunch of candles that also found support at this level. So I'm talking about this, and these over here. So quite a number of reference points. So after 1.85 was next, right? So if it really comes down like 2002, 2003, then I would choose somewhere near the spring over there, because not only this bunch of candles and also these are close to this line. If we look at what happened in 2020, that's also around that price level. So that's roughly around $1.10. Those are the 2 key support levels at this point in time. If you ask about resistance, then obviously it would be this. So we see a bunch of candles over here and a bunch of dips, tops, a bunch of candles again, the wick, the dip, and eventually automatic rally. So then that's a pretty good reference point at around $3.20. So how about another level up if the price really does come up? So let's draw that as well. I would say, okay, here we see some bottoms and then some tops, the sign of strength, and then a bunch of candles over here, plus this transition over here. And that's probably the next resistance level. That's around $3.80. So we've covered 4 levels, 318, 380, the 2 resistance levels, and then the green one, 1.8 roughly, eventually 1.1. Those 2 are support levels. Then daily trend. So here we see this downward trading activities going on, right? That's since May 10th. So we're 6 weeks, over 6 weeks into it now. And here is the interesting part. So it found support both on the green line as well as the bottom of this box. And the interesting part is here, this triangle. You see this blue line and the green line forming a triangle, meaning there are two likely scenarios. One is to break outside of this triangle. It depends on whether the price will continue to find support here and eventually break outside of this blue box. That's scenario 1. Scenario 2, the price continues to search the bottom and breaks this green support level. So I've already mentioned the next support level would be the white. However, during the transition, there will be a dynamic support level. And let me extend the box a little. So, and that is the bottom edge of the blue box. So if the price does come down and bounce between the edges before it touches or tests the white line, there may be multiple bounces based on this bottom line edge of the blue box. So I'll keep this blue box over there, and when we come back 2 weeks later, we'll look at it again and see whether the price has broken above or keeps on following this downward trend to test the bottom all the way to the white line. So